Bhagavan. Next question, Bhagavan. Padapranam's dear Bhagavan, would Shri Bhagavan explain to us using examples so as to help us understand the concept of God in the Dharma?
This is something very difficult to explain, but there seems to be a lot of questions concerning this. Because on the one hand, we say there is no God, and we are functioning as though there is God. And here in our situation, there are people who worship us as God, and yet I have myself said we are not God. So there seems to be a lot of confusion in this area. But it's very difficult to convey what exactly is it we are talking. So people, of course, are continuing to worship and things are happening, but there's some kind of disturbance there. Especially a lot of young people wanting more clarity on that. So if I get a suitable model to make you understand, you must get a suitable model, then we can communicate to you. So I will try to see if I can do something. If you understand, it's fine. If you do not understand, it's okay. But sooner or later, we'll make you understand. When we go to the level of giving you strong experiences, which we will be giving in due course, then bang, it'll all be very, very clear. So until then, you will need some understanding. So we'll try it out now. We'll see. I'll try to explain. If you get it, fine. If you don't get it, don't have to worry. I am a little hesitant for the simple reason now, among the people who are now listening to this, there are also a lot of people who are not keen on this. They do not want any explanation which will be very deep and profound. They are not ready for it. They would like it to be very simple, no? So, if we were to go deeper into it, they are just not interested. Remember, there are lots of people in villages who do not understand English, who are simply there and who are already in a good state, nice bhaktas. They are not keen on these things. So, I have to look into that also. Now, considering all this, I will try to see what best we could do. Now, first of all, you must understand, all of us are communicating all the time. You are not aware of it, but we have different levels of consciousness. At deeper levels, all of us have our deeper levels. So, we are communicating all the time with every other being, which includes even animals, plants, birds, fish in the ocean, mosquitoes, tigers, lions, human beings, other beings, varieties of beings are there. We are human beings, much above us, so many other levels of beings are there, whom all you can see and meet also. As you go deeper and deeper, but into higher levels of consciousness, you'll be able to see and talk and meet them. So, the continuous chatter is going on, communication. Now, when so much of communication is going on, this I do not know if you can understand, but as an experience you can later have it. There arises intelligence. Now, the intellect is different from intelligence. Now, this is a bit difficult to explain to you in this context. Maybe some other time we will try, or some other program we will try. But for now, you can understand, there's a lot of chatter going on. Somebody talking there, that person talking a chatter going on everywhere. You are talking to the bacteria, you are talking to corona talking to you, you are talking to some birdies flying there, you are talking to a parrot there, at deeper levels, and they are talking to you. Everything is chatter. This chatter gives rise to a tremendous intelligence. This intelligence grows. It started because of this chatter, but then it grows on its own. The nature of intelligence is to learn and grow on its own. Then this chatter becomes irrelevant, though it does keep influencing it. But it is not sort of independent of this chatter. It has developed its own intelligence, and it is on its own journey. Just like you have a child, and the child grows up, the child exceeds the father. child discovers by itself many things and does its own things. Something similar, here this intelligence thereafter, though it arose because of this chatter in the first place, then on its own it develops and develops and develops. Something which this chatter cannot match at all. Now, this is what we call the Paramatma. In the Moola Mantra that we chant, the Paramatma refers to this intelligence. And then this keeps on growing and growing and growing. We also call that God. This Paramatma, we can also call it universal intelligence. It is omnipresent, it's everywhere. It's in the bacteria, it's in the fish in the ocean. There's no place where this is not there. It is omnipresent. It knows everything that's happening everywhere. Therefore, it is omniscient, knows everything. That's how, suppose you want to know something about somebody, you ask the Antaryamin, finished. This Paramatma only is the Antaryamin. And you know, because it is omniscient. You can know anything about not only our world, you can ask anything about Mars, you can know about Jupiter, about the galaxy, anything you can find out. You can say, oh, in America, in a particular village, in a particular house, or something under a cellar, some fellow is there, what is he doing? You can see. Because you have to connect to this. And this is omnipresent and omniscient. Only thing is, the tremendous power it has got, but it is not omnipotent. That is not there. So that is why if you can actually get connected to that, you can experience this. You can simply go 10 miles inside the ocean. You can know how many miles it is deeper. You can see what's happening in the whale's brain. Because this knows everything, you know. So this is what we are referring to as God. Now this is where this is so very different from the Judaic God, Christian God, Islamic God. We have nothing to do with those gods. There, the Creator God, who creates the universe. No. Here, the Creator, thereafter it begins to interfere in our lives, are one and the same. And there, that God is omnipotent. No, we don't have anything which is omnipotent. Secondly, that God is judging. Hey, you, go to hell, and punishing you. No. Here, how do we call this God here? Going to hell is because of your karma. That is different. There are certain laws there, and the laws take care of you. You break some laws, and you are taken to hell. So this Paramatma has nothing to do with that. This Paramatma only becomes Antaryamin. So here, how do we call this? In our tradition, we call this Paramatma the Bhakta Paradina. Totally different from the Judaic, Christian and Muslim things. Bhakta Paradina, that is a Paradina for the Bhakta, for you. Because the first place it all came into existence because of you. And he is not your boss. He is not thrashing you or punishing you, not at all. So he is Bhakta Paradina, he is subservient to the devotee. And then he is not only that, he is also called Yudoktakari. That is one who does as bidden. You say, I want this, he will do it. Not that he will say, get that for me. That happens with the great Bhakta, and that's a different thing. So now, basically, he does what you want to do. You want to become wealthy, and if you know how to ask for it, and if you have the right programs, it will happen. That's all. If you want to become this, you want to become that, it will happen. This is Yadoktakari. So, similarly here, we are getting all the things right. We are training you to ask for and get what? Mukti. Give us this great state. And what should be done? It knows. Because as I told you earlier, it is omniscient and it is omnipresent and it is very, very powerful. Far powerful than anybody or anything for that matter. Though not omnipotent, that's how we make things happen. So we are connecting you with that the UI, let us call it like AI, let us call this UI, Universal Intelligence. And we are connecting with that. Like you make use of AI, here we make use of UI, and then we make things happen. So, therefore, that we are not able to go beyond that. Therefore, when we do use the word God, we refer to this as God. But this God is different from the Judaic, Christian, and Islamic, and the Sikh God. No, very, very different. So, this is our God. Of course, we could go more and more into it, but it would become too much. So, for you to understand what is the Dharma's concept of God, that was the question. Dharma's concept of God is a UI, Universal Intelligence, arising out of our chatter. That's why the chatter is important. That's why we are now introducing the chat, that 74,000 must become enlightened before this time. As the revolution itself only came from UI. So if we keep on talking, remember that Tamil film I told you many years ago, how they said there are no rains. They went on talking some Tamil song, speaking it out, and the rain stopped. And the year afterwards, they said, oh, it's all rains everywhere. And the rains came, then talk about a murderous rage. And then the murders increased. There's so many things you can see happening in India. You can take up these film songs and you can correlate and see. Because the film songs, they become emotional about it. And they go on, it's small ones, big. Everybody keeps talking about it. And then the message goes up there. Depends upon what message you are sending up. Suppose there's a lot of fight going on. Let us say between husband and wife in houses, in families, and in various groups, all kind of negative thought, everything. Then the message that is being sent up is, you please bring about some pandemic, or you bring about some war, and just destroy people. And then UI acts. Now some war is happening now there. It's all created by people, humanity only. All the good that is happening, we are only creating. All the so-called bad that is happening, we are only creating. So you cannot blame UI for that. It is all based on this chatter. Your chatter is horrible. For example, I receive so many messages, especially from outside of India, to some extent from India also, saying, please do not fool yourself. Even the language is extraordinarily impolite, that you could change the world, or that the world can change. No, that won't happen. But we still believe you have the power to destroy the world. I don't know if I cannot change the world. How could I have the power to destroy the world? So, therefore, you ask your people to pray more for human destruction. After all, you want to end suffering. Let them be destroyed. Let them go away. Suffering is gone. What the hell are they doing with their idiotic damn lives? So stupid and foolish, and all people exploiting their fear when nothing is going to come out. So destroy this human experiment itself. Whatever happened is not required. Now these numbers are quite big in number. These are small number of people. So they are also sending up a current, not knowingly, unconsciously. Destroy. What would that happen? That would come as a destructive force. So that's why I told you, see, we cannot be very sure what's going to happen, because there's a lot of negative energy also. That also because it was sending up messages. If 1,000 people say we want rains, 1,000 people say we don't want rains, you'll find it will be going this way and that way. So, the terrible people on the planet. And finally you suffer, then you blame. Oh, God has done this. God, what did God do? He's only Bhakta Paradina. Depends on you. Sent up that kind of funny message. Remember what happened between Lord Krishna and I don't know his name. Was it Namdev, I think. Just now I forgot. So, where he delayed in coming and saving him from the Sultan. So, we are responsible. It's not God. God is simply executing what you want. UI is doing what you want. Like nowadays, let's say AI does what you want. Similarly, UI does what you want. Though, of course, both AI and UI can sometimes function independently also. That's a different matter. So we will not go into it right now. So, this is what is happening. That's why our thoughts must be set right. Even though your thoughts are not your thoughts, but somewhere if we keep generating proper thoughts, then you may be filled with better thoughts. And if you look at a modern restaurant, if you go, sometimes there's dim lighting and that red light and this and that. The whole thing is set up to attract negative thoughts. So a lot of places, the way they are being done up, they are capable of pulling negative thoughts. And then you are filled up with negative thoughts. We find a lot of negativity in people. But what you should know is whatever is happening there, good or bad, we are collectively responsible for that. We are making it happen. So we can bring about a lot of prosperity, peace and happiness also we could do. We could bring about war and pestilence, that also we can create. Everything we could do. But we should not drag God into it. God is merely carrying out what you want. What we are calling as God, it is UI, which is dependent on us, the Naras, and he of course is Narayana. So the Naras are doing all this. Narayana is simply Bhakta Paradina, Idoktakari, that's all. He is UI. So that is our concept of God. But more I can give you an insight and understanding only as we specially take you to very deep states. Then it's a different understanding. This obviously, now we cannot do that. But maybe when you come for the higher levels, we could do all that. So we move on now.